Good evening and welcome to the September 25th quarterly Combined Neighborhood Watch meeting. My name is Lieutenant Ashley Banks. I am the lieutenant with the Community Policing Section here at the Culpeper Police Department. I want to thank everyone who is attending in our audience, everyone who is watching virtually via our live stream, and I want to thank Culpeper Media for televising this event. Before we get started, I want to recognize a few people here in the audience. First, we have our town manager, Chris Hively, with us tonight. We have our mayor, Frank Reeves, who's here. Vice Mayor, Mr. Billy Yao, is here. Council members, we have John Russell in the back, Mr. Joe Short, and Janie Schmidt is, there. Also, I'd like to take this time to recognize a few of our past recipients of the Chris R. Jenkins Amazing Citizen. Be remiss if I didn't mention them. Mr. R.E. Dean is here with us in the back. We have Nancy Lagasse up front. And we have Hank Mullins with us as well. I want to appreciate everyone for coming to this meeting. We have a good presentation that you will find has a lot of very good information, and you will probably have a lot of questions. So before we get to that, I'd like to bring up our major, Mr. Nick White, and he will go over some new promotions that have recently happened here at the police department.
All right, welcome everyone. We missed our, was it June quarterly meeting because we didn't have air conditioning in here and it was miserably hot. So a little cooler tonight, so we're glad to see everybody here. We recently went through some promotional testing and promotional process for sergeants, lieutenant, and captain, and we had a total of 14 people who tested this year for those various positions. So it's pretty good. Out of 40 right now, currently sitting at 48 people, had a lot of participation, great candidates. It was a tough process, and several folks came out on top, so to speak. So two of them that aren't here, I'll start with them. Sergeant Alvaro Moran. He's got 17 years of experience. He's only been here at the police department for almost 2 years now, pushing 2 years. He was promoted to sergeant. He'll be assigned to night shift and patrol. And then we had newly promoted Lieutenant Richard McKnight. Richard has been here at the police department for 19 years, and he will be taking over the Criminal Investigations Division as a lieutenant there. And then with us tonight, one we're sad to see go because, and I say go, she's just moving to a different division, but she's kind of been the guru behind our social media here at the police department. Where for the most part, we get a lot of thanks and credit, and everybody says we have this great social media, and she's kind of been the brains and brawn behind all the lifting for that. Is Sergeant Julia Cole. Sergeant Cole will be moving to patrol and be supervising first platoon, I think it is. No, yeah, second platoon. Yeah, starting October 2nd. Might be doing both, who knows? So, and then last but not least, so Julia, you want to say anything? You want to wave? Yeah, Julia. Speech? I think she's a little nervous about being sergeant. I had this done to me, so I'd make it do anything. And then last but not least, we also had a promotional process for captain. We had 4 current lieutenants who tested and went through that process. And at the very end, we selected Captain Kevin Tooley. Kevin has been total years of service in law enforcement is 28 years. Going on 28 in October, and he is a I don't know if you have any other veterans in here, but Kevin is I was joking with him early and told him he was a Navy veteran, but he almost flipped out of his chair. He's actually an Army veteran. And so we're pleased to have Kevin. He's off to a running start. Or as I joke with him sometimes, wide open in slow motion, because there's so much to do. And I think after about the first week, he was like, I had no idea this is how it was going to be. But we're looking forward to have him lead. Kevin is the captain of the operations division, which covers our patrol division. Any kind words for the crowd?
I used to not be great until last week.
Until last I gave him some of mine. All right, that's our promotions.
All right, thank you, Major. We will now introduce our guest speakers. Both of them are here at the police department. We have Detective Matthew Hayes and Detective Van Grimes. And I guess y'all do general detective work, but this is kind of a special work that they also do. They're going to talk about ICAC, which is Internet Crimes Against Children and the Task Force Program. So they're going to kind of run you through what they do and how things are reported. All right? Thank you, guys.
Hello, I'm Detective Grimes with the Culpeper PD, Matt Hayes. We are two of the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force investigators that we have here. We have 4 total. Unfortunately, not everybody could be here tonight, so. But we did want to give not just an introduction into what ICAC does, but also ways to help keep children safe online, because it's sometimes it's not all information that you see all the time. We get a lot of stuff about fraud prevention and things like that, but things aren't always geared towards parents and grandparents in things to look for with small children and their activities online. So that's the reason that we are here. Go ahead. Just as an intro to the ICAC Task Force program that we are a part of, what it is, it's a national network of law enforcement agencies. And the reason they exist is to protect children online and to prevent the crimes and prosecute the crimes that occur against them. It is federally funded by the Department of Justice Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. It investigates cyber tips that are submitted from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which we'll go over in the next slide, I believe. And the particular task force that we are a part of is facilitated by the Virginia State Police. So all the information we get is funneled through the state police. They help decide with where the cases go. And as far as the analysis type information that we get, that's all funneled through them as well.
Oh, yeah, we're good. Sorry about that. So what is NCMEC? It's the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. It is designated by the United States Congress as the pass-through for electronic service providers to law enforcement task forces like the Nova DC ICAC Task Force to report what they believe is suspected child exploitation, whether that's child pornography, online enticement, flag certain words, things like that. They provide missing children support as well. There's education resources on their websites. They have partnerships with many different companies to include electronic service providers, to include task force agencies, as well as major conferences. They work with tech companies, like I said, and service providers, as well as law enforcement agencies. Hit the next one. So, according to studies, roughly 97% of children between the age of 3 and 18 have some sort of access to the internet. There's a lot of different risks. You've got predators in chat rooms, DMs, in chat lobbies in video games. There's bullying, scams. There's just a lot of exposure to different kinds of harmful content, whether they are seeking it out or not. There's algorithms on different electronic service providers. I don't want to single any out because I might get in trouble by doing that, but just go to any video website, for example, and just start clicking on the different videos and see where it takes you, and you'll be shocked. So there's violent instructions on how to commit crimes. A lot of that's going on TikTok or these real websites where they're short 10, 15-second videos. And of course, once one teenager gets it, they start to pass it around to others, and then it's just a fire trail from there. Take the next one.
So just some initial things to look for potential suspicious activity with particularly children. If you notice that a child is all of a sudden very reserved and secret with either the device itself or what they're doing with the device. New people or friends, depending on which online application calls it, particularly ones that they talk about as friends, but they're not necessarily people that they know much information about. Behavioral changes such as withdrawal, anxiety, and loss of interest in anything that doesn't require them to be online. If a child mentions that they are getting asked questions about personal information, whether that's where they live or more personal stuff like birthdays, social security numbers, maiden names, things like that. A big one that we see is where conversations with strangers will start one place, but the harmful stuff typically may occur somewhere else. So, disclaimer, activity occurs on them, so that's why they're being mentioned. Places like Kik, Discord, and Snapchat. The reason is because if they're conversations rooms through video games or places similar to that we'll go over in future slides, they'll want to move that to a private conversation, and a lot of times that's done in places such as Kik and Discord. Some ways to protect a child, just a way for parents to be proactive, would be to set time limits for children, make sure that they do not have the device when they are going to bed, talking to strangers late at night, that sort of thing. Parental controls. One thing that I was very happy to find out was how good a lot of these websites are about parental controls. A lot of social media websites, gaming apps, things like that, they do advertise ways that parents can keep an eye on what their children are doing. Again, I was very pleasantly surprised by that. Another thing is stay involved, talk to your children about the people they are gaming and chatting with. In the previous slide, we talk about how they may have friends that they don't know much information about. This is how you're going to find that out, is talking to them, right? A lot of times you won't be able to look at the devices directly, but if you can talk to them about, who was so-and-so that you were playing with, what kind of things were you talking about? If it's a lot of answers like, I don't really know, I don't want to say, that's something to look further into.
So the next couple of slides, we came up with some common examples of video games, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, they're video games that children will play between the ages of 6 and 12, which is really the target audience for kind of accidentally stumbling into this world. So the risk is that there's unmonitored chats that can expose children to strangers. There's no regulation in these. There's some common ones like Xbox Live Chat, PlayStation Chat, where there is some monitoring. With certain games, Roblox, it is unmonitored chat, okay? So it's kind of on the parents to monitor that. You can enable chat restrictions, or you can turn the chat off altogether. So chat restrictions could include they can only chat with people who are their friends. The easiest way, I'm not going to name them, but I have a coworker that has someone around 8, 9 years old, and they told me that they don't let them chat with anyone that they have not talked to themselves, that they don't know personally. They're not allowed to meet people online and chat with them. You can use an account PIN and parental controls. A lot of these large companies, to include Roblox, they do have parental controls for accounts. And you can play the game with them. I think that's a big one. I think Minecraft is another slide, right? Minecraft is one where a lot of parents will just play with their kids so they can kind of understand what goes on in the game, and then they can see who they're playing with, because Minecraft, for example, is an open world, anyone can join your world kind of a game. So you have to really be careful with that and monitor who they talk to. And we included some photos, so maybe you don't know what Roblox is or Minecraft, but if you see an image like this on here, that's a photo of the game that's on the slide. So that's Roblox. Fortnite, this is a big one. It's known for voice chats and creating teams. Children are added to teams with strangers, which can expose them to risk. It's a game where you'll have like 100 people in a lobby, and then you all just start playing together, okay? And with that, they may be playing with a friend or two, but they may be playing with 98 other complete random people that they don't know, and they can talk to them. So a parental tip for this is to disable voice chat and allow them to only talk to their friends, and teach the kids not to share any personal information, like how old are you, what state do you live in, what color is your hair, random things like this that a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old might think is completely innocent, but you know that that's not. Free V-Bucks, we've actually had a couple of cases like this in the past where V-Bucks were exchanged for other items. This is a sign of suspicious activity or a scam or a request for sexual content. The reality is that V-Bucks is the digital version of money. No one gives money away for free. Again, no one gives money away for free. Cover Minecraft?
So as I mentioned earlier, these games aren't inherently bad or violent. It's not so much the content that occurs in the game, with the exception of the V-Buck issue that we've been running into. But a lot of times these are where the harmful conversations start. Can you not hear me? Okay. Again, these aren't always. It's not that there's violence within the game. It's where offenders can first reach these children to continue the conversation elsewhere. Minecraft, this is a screenshot here. A game essentially where you just kind of you build like a virtual world for yourself.
Everything is a square.
Yeah, everything's a square. The issue can be that servers are unregulated, and children being able to join unregulated servers can get them in contact with harmful people that wish to do harm on them, like we've mentioned. Again, another issue with the servers is if anybody's had a malware issue on their computer, you know how difficult it can be to get rid of and what kind of issues it can cause you. That can occur over these servers. And these unregulated servers do not occur only in Minecraft. They occur on a lot of online games. And we go into something a little bit later about resources you can use to find reviews that are written by parents that explain this type of thing. One thing that parents can do with Minecraft. Okay. Can everybody hear me now? Okay. So the two that I want to talk about on this slide, one is TikTok that was mentioned before. Another one is YouTube. A lot of people don't understand how harmful YouTube can be and the kind of content that is on there. A lot of times there's some really bad things that are not caught right away, and they can be up on YouTube for quite a while, long enough for children to have access to them. TikTok, we have in law enforcement a big problem with children learning things on TikTok. Harmful trends, they can literally learn how to commit certain crimes. There's predators in the comments that can use usernames in order to access children and unsafe links. Some tips to get around these issues are YouTube Kids. I use YouTube Kids for my children. YouTube Kids is great. There are certain videos that require the parent to go in and enter a PIN if you want to allow your child to watch that. But all in all, in my opinion, they're pretty good. Another one is if you get the sense that your child is getting access to some harmful videos, have a conversation with them with what is real and what is not. We're seeing now there's a lot of AI generated garbage out there. But if a child has the ability to determine what is and what isn't real, that's another step we can take. So these are some things I wanted to add when I mentioned the resources earlier. Setting up family accounts for Google if you have Android phones. You can set up parental accounts or family accounts with Apple. Snapchat, Detective Hayes brought that one up. I wasn't aware of Snapchats. And Instagram, they have places you can go as a parent to restrict what your child can access on those apps. With Google and Apple, as a parent, you can restrict the kind of apps that your child downloads on the phone or an iPad. You can restrict where they can use credit card information if you wish to do that. I wouldn't do that with my kids. They would spend my whole bank account. A good website, and I looked this up. I actually didn't know about this until I was putting this slide together, but it's a website called commonsensemedia.org. There is reviews written by parents on there about social media, books, movies, TV, and gaming is the big one. Parents can go on there and see what kind of issues they've had in their experience with these apps. They can give advice on what you can do to protect your children. They do the same thing with movies and TV and books as well, but just particular to what our purpose is, obviously gaming and social media is our concern. Research additional resources for education on new games and apps. The ones that we included in here, those were just a couple popular examples. What we see often is a lot of times these websites or games will pop up before any of us really get any cyber tips about them just because they're that new. If you see that your child is using a game or an app that you know nothing about or you haven't heard of, just look it up and see what kind of options are out there.
You mind if I cover Snapchat real quick?
Yes.
So family accounts, I want to talk about family accounts with Snapchat real quick. I really think it affects the current generation of teenagers and preteens in particular. The reality is if you're from my generation or older, I'm 34, Facebook, Instagram, all that, the kids now, they're not using it. They'll look at us and make fun of us for even mentioning that we're on Instagram or Facebook. But Snapchat is still very common. I actually recently attended a conference, so I was able to attend a 2-hour session with Snapchat, and their family account services is above board. You can set up a family account with them where your child, you can see their account. You cannot see their messages or their content. However, you can see who their friends are, all of the profile information of their friends. Their friends have to be verified, meaning that they have to have verified their name, date of birth, all that kind of stuff. And you can see who they've recently messaged within the last 7 days. So if they've been messaging with someone that you don't know and you suspect something's going on, you can see who they've been talking to. So if you have a child, a grandchild, talk to your kids about that. Set up the family account. I would recommend insisting upon it because there is a lot that goes on Snapchat that would surprise people, and I think this is a great way to prevent them from ever having to experience that to begin with. So reporting suspicious activity, crime, whatever, to law enforcement, you can contact us. You can call 911, you can come to the police department, I think we even have that down there. Yeah, you can specifically request to speak to an ICAC investigator. That's both me and Detective Grimes. We're generally speaking, I'm here Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. I think he's off on Tuesdays, but otherwise he's here from 7 to 5. You can also visit NCMEC at their website or missingkids.org. They'll both take you to the same place. And follow the links on how to file a cyber tip. It's really easy. It's very friendly. I've gone through it myself just to see what it's like, and it prompts you every step of the way. If you have screenshots that are available, you can submit attachments. You can also report to local law enforcement in addition to the cyber tip line, like I said. If you're not sure if your child or a child that you know has been victimized, just feel free to contact us and ask us about it. you might have a suspicion or a hunch or something, we have no problem looking into it. As a matter of fact, I don't know about you, I would much rather prefer that someone contact over us something that they're not sure than not contact us at all.
Well, we can deconflict anything.
Right. We have the ability to research and deconflict, and we can open a case just on suspicion alone. But yeah, if not, request to make the report anyways. Worst case scenario, we take an information report and document it. Thanks. So this is our contact information. On my left, you have Detective Van Grimes. You can see his email as well as his phone extension is up there. I am Detective Matthew Hayes. You can see my email and my phone extension as well. Again, please feel free to contact us. If you don't want to call, you don't want to come in person, Sergeant Cole might hate me for saying this, feel free to message the Facebook page or go to tips, is it tips.org? Culpeper, tips at culpeperva.org, or just email the chief directly. va.gov. That all we got? Yep. Does anyone have any questions? I know there's questions. Go ahead, Councilman.
So Facebook and Instagram are out. What are the 2 or 3 top social apps for that younger generation?
I would say Snap, for sure.
The biggest.
They use so many different things now. Like, it's like a combination of stuff. Definitely YouTube. They're on YouTube a lot. But there's so many apps that we used to do all of this, like the profile friending of a family and stuff, messaging. It was all Facebook and Instagram for the longest time. Now there's all these other ones out there. Third-party messaging apps like WhatsApp, TextNow. There's a million different names for them. Just like digital texting, so that it's not actually showing up as a message on your phone, because they think that their parents won't find it, which a lot of times they don't. So if you see an app on your kid's phone that you don't recognize, I'd open it and see what's in there personally.
Is this training or what you're doing here offered to teachers and schools?
So I will name drop her, no problem. Dana Dotson is a detective with the Culpeper County Sheriff's Office, and she is on the Nova DC ICAC task force with us. Whether or not she does training with the schools, I'm not entirely sure, but I can ask her.
Do they still have parent-teacher meetings or whatever? I just thought it would be a good presentation to give to the parents if they had regular meetings like that.
So I know she's given presentations to the public within the last year. I don't know the specific environment that was given. But that is a great question. And I'll follow up with her on it. Yes, ma'am.
In discussing Snapchat, you said that they do, some kind of verification on the family and the age of the children by their birthday.
Just repeat the
Is that
question.
a good idea
When they ask the question, just
to
repeat
have
it.
your kid's birthday out there on the web?
So the question is that when Snapchat verifies the age of a child if their birthday is out there on the web. So that is verified by Snapchat that they're a real person. It is not being advertised on their account unwillingly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Snapchat has that information.
But it is in a database.
Yes, Snapchat keeps records of names, date of birth, email addresses, all of that. But even we can't get that without a search warrant. So
Hackers can.
maybe.
Can I add something to that?
Yep.
So just to kind of piggyback on that question, and we didn't necessarily have time to add it to the slide, but one thing I do want to explain is I don't want to come across like if parents don't catch it, they're not getting reported. That's not how it is at all. There's federal statutes that require these electronic service providers, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, anything that offers some sort of service over the internet, to report anything that comes through their servers as potential child pornography, online enticement, cyberbullying, there's a list of things that they report. But the federal government requires them, if they are to operate within the United States, they have to report these things. The majority of our work is tips that are coming through from these websites, and the children or the parents may have no idea what is going on until they are contacted by us. Sometimes it has to do with the age that's put into Snapchat. If I could create a Snapchat page right now, I could enter my age as being 15 years old, and depending on what I send on Snapchat, I could generate a cyber tip because Snapchat thinks I'm a juvenile. So these companies, they are catching things themselves. A lot of the time, they're things that may not necessarily be illegal or wrong. It's just they're being reported out of an abundance of caution by the apps. They don't always have people that can review stuff, live people. Sometimes it's filters that do it for them. But all that stuff gets automatically sent to NCMEC and then works its way down to us.
Good job.
Yep.
And just to piggyback on that, I won't single out any companies, but the majority of these major electronic service providers like Snapchat, YouTube, et cetera, they have their own global investigations teams built from, typically speaking, prior law enforcement. So they are also looking into any suspected crimes that maybe occurred on their network because it's a huge risk issue for them. Yes, ma'am.
For adults, I mean, other sites like Tinder, things like that, is there similar kind of things that go on for those sites looking for crime?
Yes.
You know? Okay. I had a very good friend that was taken for $1 million on one of those sites. I mean, the FBI got involved and everything, but getting the money back was no way.
Completely understand. So the question was, is there similar sorts of investigations for websites like this where it's an adult victim and an adult offender? The answer is yes, absolutely. We get reports like that all the time. All of our general investigators investigate those cases, as well as our federal partners. Any other questions? All right, that sounds like that's all from us. Thank you.
You good? Okay. All right, good. All right, thank you, guys. Just before everyone leaves, in the back, we do have some pens and cups and some information about ICAC. So before you leave, don't forget to grab some of that. Next, I'll introduce Police Chief Chris Settle, who will be doing police department updates.
Good evening. Glad everybody can come out tonight. The rain held off and the AC is working just in time when it's nice and cool outside. I want to commend Master Police Officer Detectives Grimes and Hayes and their counterparts. They do amazing work. What they didn't say about these type of cases, it's a lot of legwork. It's a lot of paperwork. It is filing a lot of paperwork with these electronic service providers. It is getting search warrants, multiple documents, meeting with Commonwealth attorneys, meeting with so many different people. These cases are very complicated. Sometimes you're chasing a ghost and trying to find a ghost and trying to find a real person behind that. It is very difficult, but they are very important cases, as we know, to protect our children, and we put an emphasis on it. So the biggest question I get from ICAC cases is, we post in full transparency. We do press releases when we make these arrests. When we arrest these predators who are going after our most vulnerable population, we say, well, are we like the culprits? Are we the capital of the world, this stuff? And we're not. We're not. Every town, every community has these issues. And NCMEC filters these through the state police and hands them down to our task force officers. And they go to every community. They go to every town. No town's immune from this type of nefarious behavior. But I will tell you, I personally, and I know we personally, take this very serious, and we go after these predators as strongly and as hard as we can, because I think it's very important to victimize our most vulnerable population. So as Mr. Grimes and Mr. Hayes can tell you, they go through a lot of training on this stuff. It requires a lot of training, a lot of conferences, And can't say enough to commend them. But when you see a press release on Facebook and everybody says, well, all these are Culpeper, it is, and I'm not going to speak for other communities and other agencies, but we are very aggressive at going after them. And we are going to, in full transparency, we're going to let our community know that this is going on and these arrests have occurred. I think you all have the right to know. And so in full transparency, we want to make sure that you get that information. So when you see the next press release, and unfortunately, there will be more. Just keep in mind, this goes on in every community, and it's out there, and it's a, this part of our society I wish didn't exist, and the good old internet, but it's here, so we have to deal with it. So in full transparency, I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, and it scares the bejesus out of me. What scares me the most is my 6-year-old kicks my butt in Minecraft almost every evening. I have no idea what's going on in Minecraft, but luckily my wife knows the parental controls, and she's the smart person in the family, so she set the parental controls and probably controls for me too when I play. So, and YouTube Kids is their most prominent channel in my house. So we know some Cocomelon and some Bluey and all that stuff. So great programming. So other than that, a couple of department updates. I just want to let you guys know, a lot of law enforcement agencies across the country and our region are really struggling with staffing. I am happy to report we are above water on staffing at the moment. We worked really hard, and I think our officers have shown others that this is a great place to work, and we do some great work here. So our staffing is so good. We have started a traffic unit. So today we just put out our first full-time traffic officer, motor officer position. We haven't had one since obviously Mike Grant, who retired from us about a year or so ago. So we're looking to fulfill some traffic units. We know traffic is so great in this town, and it flows so nicely with all these construction projects. But that light is hopefully at the end of the tunnel, and we're going to have some full-time traffic units out there to make sure our kids and traffic safety and pedestrian safety is upheld and keep people safe on our highways and byways. Other than that, the only other really announcement I have is I want to thank everybody for National Night Out. Guys, I know you guys did a wonderful job in your neighborhoods, and we do love going out into your neighborhoods and celebrating National Night Out. So I know we haven't met since then, so it was nice coming out. I ate too much at all the neighborhoods because you go to so many of them, you eat something at every one of them, and it's not a good night sleep. But it is wonderful. Only other thing is next neighborhood watch meeting will be December 18th. Thank you. December 18th. Hopefully we're going through a little rebranding here at the police department. So hopefully we have some exciting news for you guys. I don't want to unveil it yet, but we're going for a different look, and you'll see. We'll stay tuned. I will keep you surprised. It might be a Christmas gift for you guys at the end of it, so on Christmas time. But we're looking to mix some things up here, and hasn't been done in a while. So other than that, I'd be happy to ask any questions as far as the agency or anything that's going on in our community. I'd be more than glad to take any questions. Yes, sir.
As you mentioned, going through with these cases, in the courthouse, are judges getting a fair amount of training as to what they're looking at or what's going to be presented to them?
So the question, that's a great question.
Not running into a wall.
The great question is, as we present these type of cases to the judicial system and to the courts and to the judges, all the judges, Commonwealth attorneys, the criminal justice system, educated on these type of cases, I would say, I'm not going to speak, you guys deal with this, I would say yes. I think there's some joint trainings they go to. I think the Commonwealth Attorneys Association, they have their own trainings in these type of cases to make sure that they're most up to date on these type of technical cases. I can't speak on the judges. I wouldn't dare ask a judge what type of training they've gotten or their lack of training thereof. I'll probably be held in contempt of court. But we have not, here, at least here in Culpeper, Virginia, to answer your question, we haven't seen any issues as far as the lack of knowledge as far as prosecution in these type of cases. I think the judges have been pretty upstanding on holding these people accountable, and I think the state code and sentencing guidelines are pretty stringent and pretty strict on these type of cases as well. That's a great question. Any other questions? The question is, do we find there's a lot of these type of cases in Culpeper? And I would answer, there's no more cases than any other community. Everybody's got a device. Everybody's got people out there that do nefarious things and nefarious acts and take advantage of our children and take advantage of our seniors and our elders, take advantage of the disabled. And I mean, if there's a way to take advantage of somebody, somebody's going to find a way to do it. And the Culpeper community is no greater than any other community. But I will tell you that we're really aggressive on the enforcement of it.
Is there any reason why you pointed at me when you said senior?
No, not at all. Not at all. No, I was actually pointing at Lehman. You didn't see that. I was pointing at him. Any other questions? Thank you guys for coming, and we'll see you next time, and hopefully everyone wins a door prize. Thank you, Les.
I'll introduce myself because I'm sure y'all don't know who I am. Master Police Officer Jason Smith. Going over a couple events here. I'm kind of the fun and games department. This weekend, September 27th, we have a Touch a Truck event. We'll be at the Baptist Church from 2 to 4 in October. Switching to October 7th, we are going to be having tacos and cops. And I was just reading over the quite funny flyer for that. It's called Tacos with Cops. Let's taco about it. Just got to throw that in there. I told you I didn't come up with it. It's cheesy. But it should be a fun event. We're going to actually get together with the Sheriff's Office as well on this event. This is October 7th from 11 to 3. The location of this is going to be over on Bragg's Corner Road, over behind Rusty's Towing. I'm sure if you're headed over that area, you'll see the signs and all that for that event. Then we'll have October 11th is Coffee with Cops. That will be at Target from 9:30 to 11:30. It's always a fun event. October 14th, we have the Aging Together Expo. That's going to be out at the Field House from 9 to 1. Then we have our big event, October 18th, which is the CRI Hop and Hog event, 12 to 5. Children's Day at the Park, the 18th as well. That will be at Yalmetta Park from 10 to 1. Also, the 18th, we have a lot on the 18th. Riva Fire Hall is having their open house. That will be from 9 to 2. On October 21st, hopefully everybody's writing this down. October 21st, the Domestic Violence Vigil Candlelight. That will be at the Baptist Church from 6 to 8. And moving along towards the end of the month, we have on the 24th of October, there's a Moonlight Candy Hunt. That's usually 500 kids show up to that, and they throw candy everywhere, and everybody usually has a great time. That's from 5 to 8 at the sports complex. And then the 25th also, we have like 9 events on the 25th, but I'm only going to highlight like 3 of them. The DEA Drug Take Back event. That's going to be held here at the police department from 10 to 2. Also, we have 24 hours a day our drug box out front as well. If anybody has any drugs they would like to drop off, we'd be glad to take them for you. CRI is having a movie night, 7 to 10 down at the depot. That's the same day, the 25th of October. Like I said, 7 to 10. They're going to be showing a movie they're going to put the stage down there, and they're going to show Hocus Pocus, have a fun night with that. And the last one I'll highlight, this is a CRI, which is Culpeper Renaissance. They do a lot for the community, so we thank them for what they do. They are having a Haunted Hustle 5K. I came up with that name, at Yalmetta Park. That's going to be from 8 to 10:30. They will also that day be having a spooky sprint as well for the kids. So if you didn't get all that, you can come see me in the back, and I'll be glad to get you a copy of this. And I appreciate you having us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Police Officer Smith. Just to follow up with that, for the drug take back in our box out front, just prescription medication. And he didn't mention Halloween, which is on the 31st. It is not canceled. So again, that will be Friday, so October 31st. So just like in years past, a lot of people will be out trick-or-treating. We will have increased presence, especially in the neighborhoods, to make sure people are safe, and pedestrians and vehicles. Before we get to the best part, why everybody's here, the door prizes, I just want to take a minute to thank everyone again. There are some new faces here in the crowd. There's some faces we haven't seen in a few months that are here, and there's some new faces. So again, thank you so much for coming. I know we got Southeast Street here, Lakeview, Southwest Street, Kings Manor, Bell Park. For our neighborhood watch groups, please come out. If you're already attending, and come to a meeting, bring a friend. So just as a reminder, our next quarterly meeting will be a special date, be on December 18th. It would have fallen on Thanksgiving, but I figured everyone else had plans to do stuff with family. So we pushed it back to December, so kind of in the middle between when we would have the meeting and the Christmas holiday. So if there aren't any more questions, we will get started with door prizes.